My name's Dale Landwehr. I'm Stratford, Wisconsin. We've been a dealer since the 70s. It's been good, can't complain. Kind of got hooked on them. Started collecting them in the 90s. One led into another and just kind of went from there. It's kind of a disease, I guess. That's a 48. I got a 49 in the shed. This is a 50. In 1950, they came out with the air-cooled engine. That kind of took over the water-cooled, and it was air-cooled for till late 90s. It was air-cooled. A lot of people liked it. Didn't have to deal with the water, the antifreeze, the radiators, water pumps. It just it became that's what really made them popular, in my opinion. This one, both the 48 and the 49, I actually got them from Germany. A good friend of mine over there found them for me. A guy he had passed away, and his sister wanted to keep them together, so I ended up getting both of them. This one, a friend of mine found out in Minnesota at an auction. It was a mess. Somebody had threw some paint on it, so it was one of our first ones that we really got into, and it was a lot of work. If you'd like, we got some more inside here. Some of my collection, I got some other ones out and around, but we can go in here and start in here and take a look at what we got. This one here is the 49 I got. That one come with the other one. They came in a pair. This was another one I got out of Canada. It's an 05 series. And then this one here was actually when we started with Deutz, 3006. That was one of the early ones we had got in when we started being a Deutz dealer, and it was on the farm our whole life. We grew up with this tractor. I bought it from my dad and restored it, and here it is. My son has claimed it already as his tractor, and it's good to see he's into it like I am, Over in Germany, that was, kind of started out in the war times. They couldn't afford vehicles or tractors, so the tractor did the work. They used the tractor to go into town, and a lot of times you've seen two seats on. Some of my tractors will have a seat that'll sit two people. They had different ranges you could get. The 06s, this was the style the 06s had on. The N-Track, this was actually their third model. They made a 2002 and a 2003. This was a 2004. The N-Track was basically designed for your smaller farmers. It was a very versatile tractor. You could use it for mowing front and back. Sometimes they'd have tillage in the front and back, or tillage in the front, seating in the back, sprayer unit in the back. Might have it on small farms where they'd have a dump trailer in the back. Everything was a contained unit. This one here is 70 horse. It was capable of running a front mower and a back mower without conditioners back in the 70s. This is a 79. It's when they changed to the silver wheels versus the orange. Kind of changed their color scheme a little bit. The older ones, they work through the center of the cab to work on the motor. This one here, the engine's on an angle under there, and then the cab tilts to the side. A little bit easier, but still was a little bit of a job to work on. Kind of was the beginning of the front PTO and 3-point, which is pretty common now. This one here I got, it's a 5505. That's kind of when it started in the US for Deutz. This is a 1964 model. Guy up in Canada, somehow it was on Marketplace. I come across it and got a hold of him. He brought it down from Canada for me. I met him halfway, picked it up. This is a 55 horse, 60 horse tractor. This one here was kind of what they call like a bareback. Doesn't have a 3-point, but it does have hydraulics and power steering. This one here is original. It's got original tires. It doesn't have a lot of hours. I believe it's like 3,600 hours on it. And it's going to stay that way. I might fix a few leaks on it, but its value is in the way it looks. They're only original once, and if I can keep it there, it's going to stay there. this is before the 05s. Most of them were in Canada. It was a tractor that was sold in Canada. There might have been a few of them in the US, but not a lot of them. This one here is a 3-cylinder. It's a huge tractor. It's a heavy tractor, but it's running about 45 horse. It's air cooled. This one here, according to the serial number, is about a 57. A friend of mine bought it into Canada and brought it in, and he said it looks like a tractor that you could work on. So ended up with this one that way. The unique thing about this one is the front suspension. We pulled it out of the shed at home before we restored it, and one of them said, well, that thing's a beast. Well, it kind of got called the Beast, so that's why the Beast is on there. And it is a big, heavy tractor for 45 horse.